Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Hey, today I am just not feeling a video idea, so my video idea is just going to be swatching my palette that I recently put together, my new palette. I've already swatched the colors, but I'm gonna play with them a little bit while we just sit here and chit chat. And I am going to be using my USA Art sketchbook, watercolor sketchbook, and my Daniel Smith paints, of course, my favorite paints. And I'm just going to start in. So I am going to do this first color, which is Nickel Azo Yellow. It's a really bright, cool color. Cool yellow. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see. And I love this color. I love the way it moves into other colors. And just to demonstrate, I will, let's put down some French ultramarine next to it. I always like to test with French ultramarine because it's such a basic color. And you can see how it's moving into that French ultramarine and just almost takes over. I love Nickel Azo Yellow. So the next color is Quinacridone Gold. And this is a warmer yellow. And I will test it next to French ultramarine. And you're not going to see it move as much. Maybe a little. But it does mix well with them, with French ultramarine. I'll bring that over here and we'll get a little bit of Quinacridone Gold, and it makes a really lovely olive green color. So that's my cool yellow and my warm yellow. Now the next color I have is Raw Sienna. I don't have yellow ochre on my palette, which most people do. I have Raw Sienna for the same reason as I do Nickel Azo Yellow. This is a more earthy yellow, natural pigment, but I have it on my palette for the same reason as I do the Nickel Azo Yellow, is how I can get movement. And that's why I love watercolor, is because how they move. So, and when you mix them, you get that more muted grayish green. Whereas with Nickel Azo Yellow, you get a brighter green. Okay, the next color on my palette is Aussie Red Gold. And I use this as my orange. Beautiful, beautiful orange. Bright. And when I mix it with ultramarine, it's going to neutralize. It moves well too. I mean, ultramarine moves into, you know, I just like the unpredictability of it. So if I would take some ultramarine and pull it out here and bring in some Aussie Red Gold, it's going to neutralize, but because it has some yellow in it, it's going to kind of go green, but it goes brown as well. So a greenish brown. Love that. Love that. Okay, the next color I have is Quinacridone Rose. And it is a cool red. with pink undertones. And when I mix it with French ultramarine moves as well, but I get a nice violet. Get some more of that. I just get a really nice purple color I really like. Kind of rose of ultramarine. Really love it. My next color is a neutral red, which is quinacridone red. And I chose quinacridones because they're more light fast. So if I mix that, it's very neutral. It's not quite as pink as quinacridone rose. You can mix a little bit of yellow in it and get that, you know, fire engine red, or you can mix it with French ultramarine and get a pretty purple. And it can even go burgundy, depending on your concentrations. So I like that. That's a really pretty burgundy color. Okay, and the next one I have is Naphthide Maroon. I probably didn't need both these reds, but you know, I have them. I might switch them out later on. Okay, so now I have Naphthide Maroon. This is a dark burgundy color. I really love this because of its, not only its color, but of its granulation. It granulates beautifully. And I got this one. It mixes really pretty with French ultramarine into a more dusky purple. But it also mixes, and I'll show you here, it also mixes well with Green Apatite Genuine. To make a beautiful, beautiful neutral brown. They just neutralize each other. And I love that. Whoops, I'm out of the picture. I just love how they do. Let me do that again so you can see. Let's turn the page. Let's mop that up so I don't get my... I'm going to do Naphthide Maroon. Gorgeous, gorgeous color. And Green Apatite Genuine right on top of it. And it just, a little bit more Naphthide Maroon. And it just turns into a lovely neutral brown. I love that. I love that. And if you take it out, now you can get similar effects with any red and green because they are complements, but I just love this particular color. It just really goes, to be honest, it goes well with my decor. So I choose these two colors as to use in complements to make my brown. Okay, the next one on my palette is Cerulean Blue, and I put this in my palette for skies. And I really don't mix it with anything unless I go in with another blue in my sky, like possibly Kyanite Genuine. I like that in my skies, which it's more of a denim blue, and it has like mica particles in it, or maybe even some shadow violet. I really like that with it too. I love to get a really cool sky that way. Some natural sky colors. So that was cerulean blue. And you kind of already seen me do French ultramarine, but I'll do it again. And, you know, that mixes well with a lot of things. You know, if you want to make a neutral tone or a gray tone, a good thing to do with that is to mix it with some burnt umber or burnt sienna. I don't have those on my palette. I have burnt bronzite or bronzite and burnt bronzite, but you can get the similar effects and gray it out. Let's see, what was that? French ultramarine. You can either get a navy, a little bit more burnt bronzite, and you can get a lovely gray. There we go. So, okay. So let's turn the page. I feel like I'm making my swatches too big. Okay. I love these USA art because they're really inexpensive. Okay. So the next one on my palette, and I may be messed up, Kyanite Genuine. It's like a denim color. I love that. Love that color. If you wash it out, it just granulates really pretty too. It's pretty for water, pretty for skies. Okay, and the next one on my palette is indigo. I love indigo. It's really close to that, but I still like it. It's kind of repetitive, and I may change it in the future, but I like it. So yeah, it is real close. It looks real close on camera too. So the next one I have is Amethyst. This is a purple. You could use Dioxazine Purple or Imperial Purple is pretty from Daniel Smith. Carbazole Violet is pretty. I like Amethyst. I love the way it sparkles and I love the way it granulates. So, and, you know, mainly I do this painting process for myself. So, you know, to me that's the most important thing is you paint for yourself and for the process that it does for you. Okay, next one is, let me dab that up so it doesn't drip. That makes really pretty effects when you put your paper towel on it. So the next one I have is Green Apatite Genuine, and I showed you where I mixed it with the Naphthite Maroon, which is really, really pretty. But, you know, you mix it with a little bit of French Ultramarine or Indigo, and you get a really pretty evergreen color, you know, for pine trees. That's beautiful. I love mixing it with Lunar Black, which is later on down my palette, but I'll just show you. and that lunar black settles out. This makes wonderful. This is kind of like a Perylene green in a way, but it's wonderful for landscapes and a shadow color for trees. Beautiful, beautiful. When that dries, that black will settle down and then leave the pigment color shining through. The next one in my palette's a new color for me, and I haven't used it much, which is olive green. But I do a lot of landscapes. I may end up changing that to Perylene green, but this is interesting when you mix it with violet or amethyst. And you get just a darker version, a different green. Different violet. And you can do the same thing with green apatite. And I don't know if you can see, but that lunar black, let me zoom in. That lunar black is settling out. And that green apatite genuine is coming to the forefront. I just love that. Love, love, love that. So, let me do that green apatite genuine with amethyst. I love color mixing. And you get a really pretty dark green. Grayish green. It's pretty. Okay, the next color on the palette is Bronzite. Now I like this for it's a really pretty brown. Now it's kind of hard to lift. It's a real mellow brown, earthy brown, kind of hard to lift. It's a PrimaTek color, but I like it. I like it for tree branches. I do that, and then I take some lunar black and I drop in that for shadow, and then once that dries, it just blends really pretty and gives a really nice edge to a tree branch. Okay, the next one is Burnt Bronzite. And this is more of a rich chocolatier brown. And this I do the same thing with. I make trees and drop in lunar black. And it will be a nice shadow for a tree. Now, the next color I have on my palette is Shadow Violet. Shadow Violet is a brand new color for me. I have only used it a couple times, and I bought it for exactly that, as a pre-mixed shadow color. And I thought it might be, it's a really pretty neutral gray. So I thought maybe it might be a nice shadow color. I don't know. I like lunar black so much that, you know, I don't know. I'm just trying it. So we'll see. We'll see. So I'm gonna put some more. Really shouldn't do this and go in, and you should let it dry. But, you know, I think that might be a useful color. It's got some slight granulation, and I like granulating colors. So, and the last color, of course, I've kind of only debuted a little bit, is Lunar Black. Here it is on its own. You can already kind of see the granulation happening. This is, I think it's PBK 11, and it's just beautiful. And it settles out, and if you put other colors with it, let me put Nickel Azo Yellow. It may really push. Ooh, I really like that. That's why I love Nickel Azo Yellow, because it just pushes. Love that color. So that's this video, guys. I'm just playing with pigments and just wanted to paint and didn't know what to paint. So this is what you can do. Just play with your colors and figure out what they do, mix them, and that is an education of its own. So talk to you later, guys. Thanks for joining me. Bye.